B'chosivchel b'chinas laila. You should cry a double cry on the concept of night. Kikad kabilas dachar nikra laila. So when it receives the concept of the masculine, it's called the night. The hay, with the hay, I guess leil would be masculine, shomer mami leil, and b'chosiv kebelayla refers to the concept of when kad kabilas dachar, when it receives from the masculine, it has a hay. Yishlom al derech nafshi v'sicha belayla. We can say like the idea of how my soul thirsts for you at night. Daf bechinas laila mikol makom v'sicha. Even in the concept of night, nonetheless, I still desired you, even in Golos. V'ayin al pasuk hagidali. And look what's brought in the verse, say to me, from Shira Shirim, Shava Nafshi, and so forth. V'inyan kibilas dachar, and this idea of receiving the masculine, Ein b'lekutei Torah b'dibra masculine shemanecha rishon v'ayin sham, and look in Lekutei Torah about the smell of your oil and so forth. Inyan ad lo kabilas, and the idea that before it receives the masculine shaz nikra nar v'leil, that's when it's called the young man and the night without a hay, without a naira. Even though it's a feminine, like it's brought in the parsha of Sadai Matzah, it says naira, but it doesn't have a hay. And leil can also be the feminine, but without the hay. The lo kabilas dachar l'chein b'chosivke, and that's why you have the crying, a double crying, because she's not married. She did not receive the masculine. Also, you could say to cry is the opposite of what it says. You have this joy in singing at the nighttime, and here you have the opposite. So you have the b'chosibche. Maybe ranana is also a double lashon, not rina but ranana. And so here you have b'chosibche, double language. And the Rebbe says on the bottom, ranana baramsha zoy chelik aleph, that this is from Zohar Kadosh. Eish Chavtes Beis, Nitzbar B'Torah or Mikid, Zayin Lamed Zayin Aleph, Shari Orasham, Bekama Mekomos. V'dimas al Lechya, and her tears on her cheek, the most hem dinim, that tears refer to judgments. Neged Navu Lechayach Baturim, that opposes the idea of how beautiful are your cheeks with their jewelry. Kishute Kala, the jewelry from the bride. Ein la menachem mikol aveh, she does not have any comforter from all those who love her. Shem vav ksavos, who are all those who love her? That refers to the six sides, the midos. Gam yishlomar de bechinas kol, who Ohavei kenoda binyan ki kol b'shamayim, ohavim kenoda binyan ki kol b'shamayim u'va'aretz. It's known that the concept of all is the concept of lovers, those who love her, like it is known in all in the heavens and the earth. Maybe it's the concept of yisod, calls usually yisod. I'm not sure what he means by ohavei. And also on the verse, from all my teachers I've learned, but for my students more than all. And the Rebbe says on the bottom, and in the exile, when she's far away from this idea, she doesn't have any comforters. So the call would be, again, a concept of a yichud, of love. And when she's in Golus, she doesn't have this love. In la menachem kol aveh, she doesn't have the vav ksavos. She doesn't have the yisod. She doesn't have the oavim. V'sod mayim rabim lo yuchlu l'chavos chulud. The idea of because the love can never be stopped, even when she's in Golos. It's like the idea of the mighty waters can't put out the love, the mighty waters of Golos, and so forth. All her friends. Who are the friends? Not the Midos, but even higher, Chachma Bina, Rein, the two friends, wisdom and understanding, Bagduba, they rebelled against her, like the idea of the river becoming dry and desolate, in the first temple and so forth. So that's the idea of the Nahar of Chachma Bina is like the spring in the river. And so when the river becomes dry, it's like the river, like the wisdom and understanding rebelled against her. And how would you say this in the positive sense? The double cry, because in the time to come we will come back to Sion with tears. And look what it's brought about, how they cried concerning Yaakov and Esav, that they cried on each other. The Rebbe says on the bottom, that the concept of crying is from the tremendous amount of revelation. So you cry, that is even at night, because at night time you'll have the light. That the idea of this night is revelation. That you're going to have in the time to come, you're going to have even nighttime's going to shine. So you're going to have such a revelation. That's Vachosiv Kabbalah, that even at night, because the night's going to be shining, so you're going to be such a tremendous revelation, you'll be crying. That nighttime will shine like day, that darkness will be like light. And that's the concept of that her tears on her cheek, the concept of the jewelry on her cheek, like you brought before, that dimas the tears are like jewelry. She doesn't have any comfort. Yav always reads like the idea from Ayin comes her help. So where will my help come from? So you can say Ein la Menachem. You can say the Ayin la is her Menachem. Shebechinas Ayin hu Menachem la, that the concept of Ayin comforts her. So Ani Rishon v'Ani Achron, like the idea of Ani Osius Ayin. I am the first one and I am the last one. So the Ayin comforts her. Then therefore all her friends rebelled against her. That why did Chochmah Bina rebel against her? Because she went higher than them. That they're, so to speak, rebel against this level because they're not on that level. Because she went higher, therefore they're like enemies. And the concept of to go in a tempest. Look what's brought about the idea from Hashem. There was this Bechinas Nukva, the concept from the concept of Yud Kei Vav Kei masculine, Zah, you have Zos, the concept of feminine. And the Rebbe says on the bottom, it explains it a little different there. But it is wondrous in our eyes that the concept of Pella is Begiloi. Nifle is Beinenu. Hashem Haisazos, that the hidden Yud Kei Vav Kei becomes revealed downwards. But over here it explains that the feminine is going upwards. That it went up to Pella, it went up, that in the eyes of Chachma Bina went upwards beyond them. Shalius Malchus beKeser Shnikra Pella, that the concept of Malchus goes upwards into Keser. Shemuf Lagame Bechinis Chachma Nekra Ayin, that's higher than the concept of Chachma. That's called Ayin. Beinenu, the two eyes of Chachma Bina, or the concept of eyes is the eyes Chachma of wisdom, the sight of wisdom. Re'iyah de Chachma. So Niflas Beinenu, but the Malchus is now even higher than that. That it went up to Pella Niflas. That's the concept of from the Torah uses the expression before the eye, before the spring, but it also means a level that's higher than the ayin of Chachma. So you can say the idea of rebelled against her, that living waters will go out of Yerushalayim, and half of them will go to the Eastern Sea. But in terms of divine flow, half of them are going to be going upwards. You're going to have the concept of the supernal sea. Nimsa in Bagdu al derech. So if they rebel against her, so they're like the rivers that lie, the ones that dry up once every 7 years. And they receive. So Bagduba means that they don't have the water on their own anymore, but they're receiving it from her. And they're receiving the living waters from Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim is the idea of Malchus. The Malchus is going to be elevated to the point where the water is coming from her. So Maim Chaim Yitzum Yerushalayim and giving to Chachma Bina. So the fact that Malchus is in Keser in giving to Chachma Bina, so they're Bagduba, Kol Re'eo Bagduba.